Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Glad you could join me here today. As always, I say the same thing every day. Maybe one day I'll change that. Like and subscribe. And today's topic is going to be the weather report. No, it's a sunny, beautiful November day in St. Louis, Missouri today. Hope it's wonderful wherever you are in the world. Today's topic is going to be how to treat women. The golden rule. How does the golden rule apply when it comes to women? How does the golden rule apply when it comes to men, people, children, everyone else? You would think that the golden rule would apply to women the same. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Logically, it makes sense, but it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Let me tell you, because in the golden rule, when it comes to everyone else, you treat them the way you want to be treated. But when it comes to women, you treat women the way they want to be treated. And the way women want to be treated is not the way you and I, as a man, want to be treated. Seems pretty simple, doesn't it? Men and women are different. Contrary to what popular societal opinions are, that men and women are equal. Well, what do you mean by equality? Now, I think we're all equal in the eyes of God. We're all valuable. We're all important. Okay? But never more important than we are to ourselves. Who is the most important person in the world? The person that is looking back at you in the mirror. We all are our number one priority, or we at least should be. Unless you've got codependency, then you put people ahead of yourself. Now, we should always be concerned about others, but we need to take care of ourselves and love ourselves first, because obviously, if you don't love yourself, you cannot transmit something you haven't got. So how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? You cannot give or be anything to someone else that you're not first to yourself. But back to the topic. Women do not want to be treated like men. Let me give you an example. I had a friend that for 6 years, this gentleman sent money to me from my family, okay? I was living out of the country. I had gotten myself in a little trouble, which I cleaned up now. I have a clean police record. I had a little disagreement with the local authorities. Don't fight City Hall, okay? But I found out years later that I didn't quite know everything I thought it did, so I had made some mistakes. Anyway, today we're all friends. But he did this even though he could have gotten in trouble for it. And he was in a high standing position in the community. But he knew me, he trusted me, he knew that I didn't break any laws. But yet this guy did that. And it's been 10 years ago since he did that. For 6 years, once a month, every month, sometimes more than once a month, he would send money to me. He would have to drive out of town to do it. And this was a busy man, okay? I will be loyal to that man to my dying day. I still thank him for it. And he says, you don't need to thank me for that anymore. Yes, I will never forget that. Now, same situation, somebody does that for a woman. She doesn't have the same idea of loyalty and appreciation for something like that that you and I do. Men are expected to do that when it comes to women. Men are expected to provide and protect women. It's not something that they like it when it's happening, but they don't look back 5-10 years from now and think, man, I really appreciate that guy. If he ever needs me for anything, I'm going to be there for him. Like a man. A man thinks that men will get together with a man they were in war with 50 years ago and love them like a brother. And if that guy called them out of the blue, the one fella half the country away would probably try to get there to help that man. Women aren't like that. They would think, why are you calling me? It's good to hear from you, but I can't help you. That's just the way it is. Men and women think differently. A man's idea of loyalty and a woman's idea of loyalty are two different things. Now, I'm not belittling women. It's just the way they think. They think differently than men. There are some things women look at men, they think, I don't understand them. I don't like the way they are. That doesn't make any sense to me. Also, a woman's idea of what is being completely honest or rigorously honest is different from a man's. A woman may go out and have sex with another man while she's in a relationship, and if she were drunk or was just a one-night fling and no one knew, she may consider herself to be faithful because it didn't mean anything. There was no emotional connection. It was just sex. So for her, she wasn't unfaithful. In her mind, she doesn't believe she cheated. A good example of that is look at is it Jada Smith, that Red Table Talk, where she talks about her affair as if it was her journey. It was all about love. She was just something she had to do. She doesn't lay out the facts that she betrayed her husband, she betrayed her kids, she betrayed the family. Okay, she lied. She probably lied to her kids and well, I don't know that for sure, but it's very hard to have an affair that no one knows about and be honest about it, because I've done that, okay? And let me tell you, it all comes back to haunt you. So I advise you not to do that. Depending on what type of relationship you have with your wife or your lover, that's between you two. But if she thinks you're faithful and you're not, and you're lying about it, the liar only lies to himself. The cheater only cheats themselves. But back to the golden rule. So I'm not saying you should be rude to women, but never treat a woman the way she says she wants to be treated. Most, if not all, women will say they want to be treated like a queen. But I'm sure you've heard the old adage, treat a woman like a queen, she'll treat you like a servant. It's true. They don't respect a man that treats them like a queen. They respect a man that treats them like their woman. Okay, the Romans had a thing, and I guess some of you women, if you're listening to this, would call me a misogynist about this. But the Romans used to believe that you treat your wife a little better than a slave. Now, I've experienced both. I have treated a woman like a queen, and guess what? I got treated like a servant. Okay, and I ended up leaving these women too. It's happened more than once. It took me a little longer to learn. Now, when I was younger, I never treated a woman like a queen. And I had a lot of respect and loyalty from women. They could have gotten me in a lot of trouble for things I did, but they did not do it. Years later, I treated my women, my wives, I was married more than once, like a queen with respect, dignity. I gave them the say, I allowed them to make their own decisions, etc., etc. And they got to the point where they disrespected me so bad they cheated on me. And as I've said before, one even said, you're a good father and a good husband, but I can't live this kind of life. So she went off with the meth dealer who just got out of jail, who had an ankle bracelet on, and there's a whole story to that too, okay? But I let her go, and we're on peaceful terms today, and my life is better in the end. And every woman that I've left because they started disrespecting me because I treated them too well. The last woman that I was married to, that was one before that. Okay, the last one I was married to told me, after 9 years of us separated, she said, or divorced, she said, you just treat us too good. You're just too good to us. I have a tendency to do that. I'm not doing it anymore, but there was a time in my life where if a woman was good to me, I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm married, okay, and I have been married 4 times. So the first marriage, I didn't fall into that trap of treating a woman too well. I didn't treat her badly, but I didn't treat her too well, and I had a lot more respect from her. So what I'm saying is like this. Let's take my last girlfriend. There's a good example. It's the similar scenario as my last wives. We're together. She's treating me good. She's taking care of the house. Let's say that, or no, my last girlfriend wasn't living with me, but okay. And she really goes out of her way to make me feel good. So maybe she said something about wanting a new phone or a new dress or a pair of shoes or whatever it happens to be. So, she's being really good to me. So I go out and get her that. And it's actually what I get her is more than what she's done for me. And each time you do that, they lose respect for you a little bit. I know it doesn't make rational sense. And I know a lot of women out there would say, that's all bullshit. But it's not bullshit, okay? I've experienced it, and I've spoken to many other men who have experienced the same thing. There's a rule they call the 2/3 rule. I didn't make it up. For every 2/3 she does for you, you do 1/3. But I was in the mind that I wanted to do more for her because I was feeling so good. She really made me, I really felt good with her. She made me feel good, if you want to put it that way. That's what people understand, although I don't believe anybody can make you feel good, but I'll say it that way. Okay, so I would want to really show her how much I appreciated what she's done for me. Okay, and when I did, the respect drops a little bit each time, and they don't even know why it happens. As a matter of fact, with my last girl, I told her one time, I said, look, I take care of you completely. I said, you have no needs, almost everything you want I've given you, and you don't treat me, you treat me with disrespect, you devalue me. And she even said, yeah, I don't know why I do that. They don't even know why they do it, because they just can't accept it. Now you may say, well, you're dealing with people with low self-esteem. 99% of the people out there, including you and me, struggle with self-esteem issues, okay? It's only through a lot of inner work that I've come to the point where I value myself, that I don't allow these things to happen anymore. But most people haven't got there. So what happens is, unless you run into somebody who's got a very high, solid self-esteem, and that's rare because most people don't, okay? You treat them too good or too nice. Look up the root word of the meaning of the word, the root meaning of the word nice. Okay, it means ignorant, stupid, gullible, naive. Okay, so when you're really nice to people, women, they have a tendency to feel like they don't feel safe with you. They feel like you're naive, stupid, or easy. Now, I know women and a lot of men nowadays that are really into the woman's movement will argue with me on that. But do they have the experience? I have a lot of experience with women, good and bad, and I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not blaming women, no more than I want women to blame men for being the way we are. There are certain characteristics of us men that women don't understand and they don't like. And that's okay. It doesn't make us less than them, or us more than them, or does it make them more than us? It's just the way it is. The sun comes up in the morning, and if you don't like it, you better get a pair of sunglasses on if it's too bright for you. I didn't make it that way. Go talk to the big guy. This is just the way it is, and you're not going to change these things with 60 years of women's liberation. It just isn't going to work that way. You're talking about eons of evolutionary biological programming which has happened throughout the centuries. You're not going to change that with this women and men are equal, okay? And as I said, I'm not saying that women are less than or men are more than. We're all equal in the eyes of God, whatever that means to you, whatever you believe God to be. Or we're all equal in the eyes of divinity or higher self or the universe or the earth, however. I don't care how you look at it. It's just the way it is. But a woman is never going to have the emotional and physical strength of a man. Now, there are rare exceptions. I'm not saying that. There's always exceptions to the rule. But in general, that's the way it is. So you need to keep that in mind. If you don't understand women, which none of us will never fully understand women unless we become a woman, okay? And you're not going to do that in this lifetime, even if you change your sex. But we can understand them to a certain degree and understand what they're attracted to and what they're not attracted to. And as I've said before, with women, nice guys finish last. And with men, nice girls finish first. So I'm going to stop there for today. I hope this has been of value to you. Share it with a friend. And if you'd like to get my help personally, check out my website at marksinspiration.com. Have a great day.